Morning, breakfast clubbers. Morning. Good morning, breakfast clubbers. You know, since we can, we're gonna sing. Yeah. You know, the one thing in tradition, there's a lot of people. What Breakfast Club used to always do is you had name tags, and there was the blue ones for, I can't remember, it was red and blue, and one was for people that were new, and one was for people to come normally. I think we may have an option of doing, you know, I'm not going to require anything, but we may start bringing name tags in so I can remember. We have new people come, and a lot of times we have people that haven't been here for a while. They come, I'd like to, you know, be able to remember their name.
Yeah!
I know, Alan, you need to, we'll make sure everybody knows your name. Yeah, I'm thinking of what would be appropriate to sing, because it's one of the traditions of the Breakfast Club for decades was you sang for your breakfast. How many people are new here? Oh, sucks to be you. Okay. But you know, we got Hail, Hail, let's get acquainted, America the Beautiful, we got some, you know, I'm just kind of torn. Anybody got an idea which one they want to sing? Battle Hymn,
You can have your cherry pies, but they go right to your thighs. No, there is no way to disguise your fat, 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 fat. Eat your chicken, turkey, duck, or goose. Baked Alaska chocolate mousse, but that's no way for you to lose your fat, fat, fat. Should I go on?
I'm going to just say that Alan sang for all of you.
Yes, thank you.
They all gotta sing.
No, don't encourage them. You know, there's a lot of things to go on, but one of the things that, you know, I know a couple of you might be interested in is that they had this election thing. So what we're going to do is Pal Gamble is going to give a presentation on, I have no idea, there was an election. He ran for office. He was the Libertarian candidate for Congress against Trent Franks. We have Michael Kilsky ran against Bill Montgomery in a two-way race, a Libertarian versus the Republican, and he only got 25%, so I know it's rigged. I am like, right. This is, I don't even start your stuff with me. I already know better, okay? But the opportunity to educate people is really the big deal. And that has had an enormous impact in just the last couple of years, and it manifested itself in this last election and with the rhetoric that the populace uses to express themselves. We'll talk about that, a little project that we had going in Fountain Hills a little bit. I'll give you an update on the Freedom Summit and some specials are going to be offered you guys. And then I want to make sure that I give my summary on what's going on with my radio show. We're moving to another network. And there's so much stuff going on. And then, of course, we want to give at least, I told Alan he gets at least 40 minutes to yakety yak. If he can't say it in 15 minutes, he's just babbling. So the thing is that Alan has a great project that he was really excited about it coming on, implementing it. There's a reason behind it. There was a whole campaign, and boy, did he out the city of Phoenix for the, you know, what do you call them, homophobes or whatever it is? They're afraid of guns, man. I mean, they are feared. And so that's going to be a really great story. So we're going to spend most of our time with that. But first, let's go ahead with Pal Gamble.
Of course, they may have good reason to be afraid of guns. All right, I'm going to talk about the election results. So these are pretty much my opinions or observations. I'll start out with Arizona, and then I'll discuss nationally. And because I'm a libertarian, I have a libertarian slant to a lot of things. So I'll talk about that because I know there's a lot of libertarians in here. And for those of you who don't vote, and you don't give a rat's ass about this, hey, good for you. You have my full support. And at any rate, there were damn few opportunities for candidates to get publicity through the media outlets. Didn't matter whether you were a Republican, Democrat, there was just like nothing. It was dead out there. Damn few opportunities to address crowds, as most race outcomes were already well known in advance, as they have been for several elections now. But something interesting did happen. Republicans captured all statewide offices. They captured over 2/3 of the Arizona Senate seats and 2/3 of the Arizona House seats, despite already being in charge for years of a disastrous Arizona economy and runaway budgets. Republicans effectively solidified their control of the power of both the rule and of the budget. They certainly didn't deserve it, but the state's economy was effectively removed from being an issue by both the SB 1070 immigration distraction and, frankly, the lack of democratic solutions pro-offered regarding the state's debt. Of course, they truthfully had nothing to offer. The voters, the media, and the politicians ignoring the debt and ever-increasing demands on the budget will not make it go away. Worse, propositions to wean 2 of the voter-mandated tit-suckers off of the budget failed, so the electorate continues to ignore this looming disaster and will obviously continue to ignore it until the economy collapses. Libertarian candidates, on average, gained an additional 1% of the vote. Woohoo!
Yes.
In some cases, significantly more than that. So did any Green Party candidate or independent, as people who voted for the Democrat for any particular office in 2008 either jumped over to the Republicans, they said, I'm voting for a third-party candidate, or they just didn't bother voting for that particular office. And there was a lot of particular offices. Democrats on average lost 5 to 9% of their 2008 vote percentages, and that's the reason why they lost in Arizona. Interestingly, the presence of a Libertarian candidate cost the Republican or the Democrat candidate their chance at the prize in 3 out of 8 of the U.S. congressional district races. That's an amazing stat, because it is very rare that any third-party candidate basically covers the vote totals between the R and the D in anywhere, and in this state we did it in 3 separate occasions. District 1 cost the incumbent. District 7, which also had an independent challenger, so their totals were added together with Libertarian on that. And District 8, District 7, District 8 are still not officially decided, but it looks like the incumbent will probably retain their seats. All 3 districts have one thing in common. They're either completely out of Maricopa County or only a very small fraction of the voters are in Maricopa County. I have no idea what that means, but that's the only thing in common I can see. The other 5 districts in the state of Arizona are soundly within Maricopa County. Incumbent Congressman Harry Mitchell, District 5, also resoundingly lost. The Democrat, Nick Coons, didn't cost him. Nick got like 5.5% of the vote. Libertarian Nick Coons. And Harry Brown lost by 10%, which is a real serious ass kicking, to be quite honest. There were no state legislative races where the rare Libertarian candidate affected the outcome of the winner. Despite a full congressional candidacy list, there were few Libertarian candidates for state offices. In my opinion, that's due to the fact that no Libertarian wants to file the rather intrusive, well, not the rather, the extremely intrusive financial disclosure statement. There's probably other reasons as well, but that is one that's like, for me, it's like, I don't want anything to do with that. Both U.S. District 3, 5, and I have heard District 8 got hundreds of thousands of dollars, George Soros dollars, spent at the last minute by Democrats supporting the Libertarian candidate in those districts to basically pull votes away from the Republicans. In an unsuccessful bid, by the way, to pull Republican votes away. That's pretty clear by the fact that in districts where there wasn't any money spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent, there was really no significant difference between the vote percentages in those races versus the 3 U.S. districts.
The government computers.
So say the government computers. The results are that a ton of money was spent in those 3 districts on libertarians with no real vote increase. It's demonstrable. I think the take-home point of that is you guys can spend all you want raising money for libertarian candidates. It's a complete waste of time. You could spend the money somewhere better, like putting up signs on the freeways, pissing people off. Andrea Garcia deserves special mention. She ran as a libertarian against the incumbent Russell Pierce in Arizona Senate District 18. She got just under 9% of the vote in a 3-way race with the major parties. That may be a new national record. I was lazy and didn't contact Richard Winger, who keeps track of such things, and asked him. But it's got to be very close to a record if she did not, in fact, make it. I'm sure she's waking up now and appreciates that. But nationally, Republicans won big and Democrats lost. That's the take-home point. Arizona was no different, a trend in which historically is somewhat unusual for Arizona because we usually follow national trends by about a 2 or 4 year cycle later. After many decades of rule, Republicans replaced the arrogant and overtly corrupt Democrats in 1994 and had a 12-year reign. The Republicans demonstrated they were even more proficient at spending the Treasury than the Democrats, who were returned to power in 2006, and the Democrats demonstrated that they offered no improvement over the Republicans. So 4 years later, they got tossed out this election. And I don't believe the GOP will be given 4 years by the voters. I think they're going to there's going to be problems in 2012. I don't think it's mathematically possible for the Republicans to even demonstrate any progress. And I think that things are going to get dramatically worse in the next year or 2. Nor do I even believe that the GOP is even concerned about trying to reverse the course, but instead they will eagerly suck the marrow from the rotting corpse of America. Enjoy your breakfast. I'm glad. Being in the majority control, the Republicans once again are enjoying a 60% take of the cut, as opposed to their typical 40% take, so they're thrilled about that. The Republicans gained majority control of the state legislative chambers across the country. 19 chambers have switched from Democrat to Republican control. There are now 25 states where the Republicans control both House and Senate, and 18 states controlled by the Democrats. This large shift is going to have enormous implications for redistricting the congressional seats. And it's interesting that 2 years ago, the Democrats were rubbing their hands together, thinking they were going to be the ones who are going to be able to do the redistricting. And yet again, it's the Republicans 10 years later that ended up with it. I was like, that's just another observation. Coupled with 7 governorships, the Republicans gained. So party control at the state level has changed dramatically. Make no mistake, this was not a vote of confidence in the Republicans. It was a vote away from the Democrats. Will the rabble vent their anger on the Hoover Republicans in 2 years, or embrace the FDR Democrats as they did in the beginnings of the Great Depression? Or will they tire of picking one side or the other, only to find that it makes no difference? And what do they do then? Is this an opportunity for us? I honestly don't know. Shall we continue to plant the seed that there is no difference between either of the 2 major parties of the ruling class? As you know, my big campaign focus has been surviving the turmoil that's coming, and by planning for it now, and that's what I encourage you to do. The internet may have changed everything. We control the message, we control the information this time around. Revolution may be in the air, and blood may be in the streets.
And on that cheery note,
Hey, Ernie, what about announcements? I got a brief announcement. Please? Okay. Folks, thanks to my good friend Michael Kielski, I'm now 5 for 5 in beating Fodar Radar. If you have a problem with Fodar Radar or something else, please contact Michael Kielski. Michael, raise your hand, buddy. Come on. Michael Kielski. Thank you.
I didn't have to pay for that.
what we have been doing for a long time, Breakfast Club has been around for decades before I even heard of it.